Welcome back to BNG Hockey, where it's always black and gold. The Boston Bruins had two contract signings today. One of them was a one-year deal for goaltender Kyle Kaiser, who I actually had a lot of hope for and still has some upside, but at this point he's been passed on the depth chart, so in my mind that didn't really deserve its own video. But their other signing of the day definitely does. Let's talk about it. The Bruins signed forward Jakub Lauko to a 2-year contract with a cap hit of $787,500 per season. The structure of the contract is very interesting. This season, for the 2023-24 season, it's a two-way deal, meaning that even if he gets sent down to the Providence Bruins, he still makes the same amount of cap hit as he would at the NHL level. Now, this makes a lot of sense, because last season the player was definitely frustrated being sent up and down, up and down, up and down. They did that to him constantly. Sometimes he wouldn't even play, sometimes it was nothing more than a paper transaction, but it's good on the team here to see the frustration from that player and at least offer him some money if they're going to keep sending him up and down, up and down. Now, the next season, the 2024-25 season, it's only a one-way contract, and that makes a lot of sense. By that point, Lauko should either make the team or not, and if he doesn't make the team, that would be a pretty big disappointment, so you're not going to pay him an NHL-level salary when he's playing for the Providence Bruins. For those of you who need a reminder on who Jakub Lauko is, he's a 23-year-old, 6-foot left-shot centerman who at the NHL level will likely be playing wing. He'll only play center if they're really in a pinch or if injuries start to pile up. He's originally a third-round pick from the 2018 draft, 77th overall. Last season, he played in 23 NHL games, scoring 4 goals, 3 assists for a total of 7 points, and was a +2. Those are also the same exact stats for his entire NHL career. Last season in the AHL, he played in 35 games for the Providence Bruins, scoring 10 goals, 7 assists for a total of 17 points, and was a +10. The Bruins signed a lot of veterans this offseason. Make sure you check out my videos on those signings if you haven't already. But Don Sweeney also said he wants to see a lot of young guys pushing for spots and making this roster. And Jakub Lauko is definitely at the top of that list. He's the most NHL ready of all the young Bruins, and we saw him last season in 23 NHL games. He definitely didn't look out of place. He has a high motor, he's a good fast skater who has a little bit of physicality and some scoring touch. I don't think he's going to be anything more than a bottom 6 player at the NHL, but that's okay. You need those kinds of players, and I'm excited to see a full season of Jakub Lauko, and I really think he has a chance of making this roster, and maybe it gives you a little bit of pop. Another interesting side note is he's a Czech player, and we know the Czech guys love playing together. If David Krejci doesn't come back, there might be an opening on that Czech line. Who knows? Maybe you throw Lauko on the left wing with Zacha at center and Pasta on the right and see what happens. Lauko does have a little bit of scoring touch. Maybe you find yourself a solid middle 6 winger right there. I'm just throwing it out there. It's highly unlikely, especially for a guy that you're paying less than $1 million to, but with how tight the Bruins are to the cap and how few prospects they have, it would be awesome if Jakub Lauko not only made the team this season, but made a big step forward in his NHL career. I find that Lauko's being left out of a lot of people's line projections for next season, and I think he has a really good shot of making the team right out of the gate. I love this contract for the Bruins. It's a really cheap deal. If he gives you anything at the NHL level, it's a slam dunk of a signing, especially for a team that is so tight to the cap. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think of Lauko as a player, and do you think he has a chance at making the opening night roster? Leave that down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.